Hi, and welcome to episode 11 of the Yarn Geek podcast. My name is Denise, and you can find me on Ravelry as Canary Song, and on Instagram, I am Kitty231. So, this week I actually have a finished object, and I'm pretty happy to get this off the needles. So, I finally finished my Waiting for Rain shawl. Like I said in my last podcast, this was like a tangled mess, and pretty much like I didn't want to sit there and untangle everything, so I cut out a huge chunk of the tangle, and then I had like a section that wasn't untangled, and then I just knit from there. So I only needed to knit about 5 rows of the lace left. So once I finished that, I you know added the darker purple again, and so I knew I was gonna run out and I wasn't gonna be able to knit um how many rows it said to knit. I think it said to knit like 10 or 20 rows, and I knew I wasn't gonna make it. So after each row I would weigh my yarn to see how many grams it took me to finish a row, and it took me about 1 gram. So once I got down to 2 grams, that's when I decided to bind off. So I after the final lace section, I knit about 6 rows, and then I just bound off. And this is how much yarn I had left. So this is like 1 gram of yarn, and I did a knit. I said to do a cast off loosely, but I didn't specify what kind of cast off. So I was just looking online and I saw a knit 2 cast off, which is just what it says. You knit 2 and then you transfer that, that one stitch that's left on your right needle, you put it on your left, and then you just knit 2 again, and then you just keep doing that until you run out. So it's supposed to be a stretchier bind off. So here's the full shawl. It's not as big as it shows in the actual in the actual pattern, because I was gonna run out of the darker purple. And this is knit in hedgehog fibers, if you guys don't know. The colorways are Spell and Hush. So I knit everything like the pattern said, and then once I got up to this little section, I knew I was gonna run out, and so then I just knit less rows, and then I figured out how many stitches I would need to do the final lace section, and then I just went from there. And I don't have any blocking wires or anything like that. So I never blocked out a shawl with blocking wires, so I don't really know the difference. I think it's just gonna be like a straighter edge and a nicer blocked shawl. But I don't have anything like that, so I just blocked it and I pinned it to a towel on the floor, and Lucy kept going over and like sniffing it and looking at it, so I had to tell her to like move. So yeah, I'm happy with my color choices and my final result. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna wear it. I think I can wear it like this. So I'm thinking about maybe getting a shawl pin or something and figure out another way to wrap it, because I don't have that many shawls, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna wear it yet. But yeah, I like it. I'm glad to have it off the needles because I really wanted to cast on another project, and I didn't want to do that until I finished this. So yeah, there's that. And so now up to my works in progress. I finished one sock for my monkey socks that I started last time, and I'm knitting this for the cookie jar cowl, which is hosted by Candice of the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast, and Laura from Laura's is the Fawn Knits podcast. So yeah, I finished my first sock, and I knit this out of my own hand-dyed yarn, and I really like how it looks. I think I did a really good job of choosing the right yarn for this project. And it's slightly speckled. I don't know if you can see. When I dyed this, I did do some speckling at the end, but it's in very similar colors to the dye that I used to dye it, so it's very subtle speckling. I haven't cast on the second one yet. I have it in a hand wind ball. I've never really done this before, but I did have a tangle in this skein, so I had to divide it into two little mini skeins, and I weighed this out, and it weighs more than this sock, so I'm gonna have more than enough for my second sock. And this is not blocked yet, just so you know. So this way it's gonna grow, and the lace is gonna look, better after it's blocked. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the first one came out, and I'm looking forward to casting on my second sock. And as you can see here, I've been working on my Cozy Memories blanket. So I've been leaving it out this whole week on the couch, and because of that, I think, I walk by and I see it, and it just makes me want to knit on it more. So if you guys feel like you don't want to work on it, I suggest you just leave it out, and it's gonna call to you, because that's what it did to me. And I knit most of the squares that I knit this. I think I knit like 7 squares this week, which is a lot for me. With the yarn that Katie from the Blue Stockings podcast sent to me, because we did a swap. I used most of her yarn already. So this row here, this is Arnie and Carlos here, and these 2 squares are all from yarn she sent me. And I think the reason why I used pretty much all of them, all the ones she sent me, is because she conveniently sent it to me in a center pole ball. So you see, they're already skeined up and ready to go. So that's why I went to those, even though I already have other little mini skeins I could use, but I just went towards her yarn. And knitting up these Arnie and Carlos really makes me want to pick up some more Arnie and Carlos yarn, because I don't have any more since these guys that I knit last month. So yeah, now it's like right now it's a nice little Lucy sized blanket. I put it on her, and she enjoyed it. She doesn't really go for it when it's on this couch. She doesn't really go on this couch, so I don't feel like she's gonna scratch on it or lay on it or anything. So yeah, I had to stop myself from working on that because I wanted to finish the shawl. So what I do is, once I knit a row, I right now I'm knitting the row is 5 squares. Once I finish those 5 squares, I stop, because if I were to start the next row and then knit a little square, I'm gonna see, like, the space that it leaves, because I still need to knit 4 squares, and then it's just gonna make me want to continue and knit more. So I had to stop myself. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna knit this in spurts, like, knit a row and then stop, knit a row and then stop, because I feel like then I would neglect all my other projects. Because it's fun to do, and I like trying out the new yarn and seeing um, how the blanket knits up. So yeah. So the reason I wanted to finish this shawl was because I wanted to cast on another shawl, and I had purchased this pattern when it came out like a month ago, and I've ordered the yarn, and it took a while to come because it was international, and then I had problems with the post office, so it took a while to get here, and then it finally came this week, and I hadn't finished this, so I'm like, okay, I gotta finish this first. So that being said, the shawl that I'm knitting that I started today is the Pure Joy shawl by Joji Locatelli. So this is another garter stitch shawl, but it's done in short rows. So I added the second color, which is like knit for 2 rows, and then right now I'm doing like a series of short rows, like she calls it wedges. So I'm on the first wedge, and it's fun so far knitting up. I really want to see this grow. If you watch the Gabby's podcast, Once Upon a Corgi, she knit this recently, and I saw it in person this past week, so it even made me want to cast it on even more. And it's a really like long shawl, so this is gonna be nice. So the yarn I'm using is called Pura Hilajos, and it's a yarn from Argentina. So here's the tag. Joji did a collaboration with this indie dyer in Argentina, and she made a bunch of kits with different color yarn for especially for this pattern. So I follow Joji on Instagram, and I saw that she released a pattern, and then that she did this collaboration, and I got really excited because I didn't know that there was an indie dyer in Argentina, and the yarn is also from Argentina. She says it's from the Patagonia region. So I got really excited because my dad is from Argentina, and I might be going on a trip there this year with my family, or maybe next year. We're not sure yet. So I really want to knit this and wear it when I'm there. So her yarn is the yarn base is Pura Sac. It's 100% merino, and it's 100 grams, 438 yards. And the colorways I'm using is Too Rainy, which is the dark color. So that's Too Rainy. And the lighter color is called Candy. And it might be hard to see, but it's like very lightly, the colors are very light, so it's going to be hard to see, but there's like pinks and oranges in there. Probably be easier to see here. So it's very, very lightly dyed, the colors. But I think it's going to knit up very nicely with the dark colors, the contrast. And as it gets larger, there's going to be like at the end like a huge dark section. So I think this is going to look really nice. So I had to stop myself from knitting this because that's all I started this morning, and that's all I wanted to knit on. But I had to stop and do other things. And I'm using US 6 Tragus, which I used for the Waiting for Rain shawl for this. So yeah, I'm just excited about this shawl. I wanted to knit something by Joji, and I just haven't had a chance to, and I got really excited about this dyer. I just had, some problems with the shipping. I think it's my post office is just not, it's not a really good post office. I had to go there and pick it up because they didn't leave it at my house. So, but yeah, she's on Etsy, and I think right now she's on vacation, but you should check her shop out later. I'm just excited to be knitting something that's like 100% from Argentina. I don't know. I guess it's like something, personal. I didn't, something to like celebrate that part of my family. So, and because I love knitting, and so it goes together. So yeah, I don't know if you guys would have an idea like what I'm talking about, but I'm just excited about this. So hopefully hopefully I get to go to Argentina soon and I can wear it there, because they're they're in different hemispheres. So when I would go there, it would be their fall, so it's a little bit chilly. You have to wear like a coat. So this would be perfect to wear at that point. So yeah. So yeah, that's also part of my acquisitions since I got it. I didn't show you guys last week because I didn't have it then. Another part of my acquisition is that my friend Gina went to Free Comic Book Day. If you don't know what that is, that's like the first Saturday of every May is a Free Comic Book Day, and it's just a day that comic book stores, they offer free comics that the publisher sent them, and depending on the store, they might have special events or like free sketches or like a party. It depends on where you go. And so I mentioned it to her because I thought it would be a good thing for her to do with her daughter, and she didn't really know what it was. And once I explained to her, she was looking around and she saw that that comic book store we went to when I was there in Ohio, called Carol and John's Comic Books. They were doing a big event, and from what they posted online, it seemed like they had a separate space and they had a bunch of artists there and like face painting for kids, and they posted online the kids to come dressed up, and so she had a good time there. And there's an artist that I follow on Instagram. I didn't realize this, but she's based in Ohio, and her Instagram is Erin in Artland, and she draws like these sketches of like characters like hugging, and her website is called Super Group Hugs. And I liked her art, so I started following her, and then I realized that she was actually gonna be at that comic book store. So I told Gina about it, and she went and picked up some prints for me. One of these was a complete surprise. So the first one she picked up for Ryan is Deadpool, since he loves Deadpool, and he's hugging his favorite food, which is chimichangas. So yeah, this is cute. And this was a complete surprise until I got in the mail. She sent me Hanalea hugging, and Han says I know. So it's super cute. That's all I have to say. Every time I see her art on Instagram, I'm like, super cute. And you could check her website. She goes to different conventions. So she's probably gonna be in some convention upcoming in I think she goes around the Ohio, Pittsburgh area. So, and I think there's a convention coming up in August in Pittsburgh. So maybe she'll be there. And you can also get commissions if you want to on her website. So yeah, and so I showed you guys like a few weeks ago, back from my trip from Ohio, that I got some Funko Pops, and I said, hopefully this won't become like a huge collection. And yeah, I shouldn't have said that, because now I'm looking at my shelf over there and I have maybe like 10 of them. It's hard because they're pretty cheap and they have like so many characters, and every time I see a character I like, I'm gonna want it. So yeah, there's one that came out recently that's really hard for me to get, because in New York, it was an exclusive to Hot Topic, and there's only like 2 Hot Topic stores in New York, and I went to one and they didn't have it, and the other one is like super far away and not easy on public transportation. So my friend Gina picked one up for me. So I got Sailor Moon with her moon stick and Luna, her little cat. So yeah, it's super cute. There's like a regular version, and she doesn't have her moon stick, so I had to have the one with her moon stick because she's Sailor Moon, and little Luna is the cat. Technically, it doesn't make sense for the cat to have the little what is that? Ugh, I can't remember the name. What is that called? The band-aid on her head. Because if you ever watch Sailor Moon in the first episode, she comes across this cat who is like bullied by these kids, and so that's why she has that on her head. And when she takes it off, she figures out that Luna is actually a talking magical cat, and the band-aids were blocking her powers. So it doesn't really make sense for her to have it on here, but whatever, it's cute. I used to watch Sailor Moon when I was a kid. They used to air really early in the morning, like on the weekdays. I think maybe like 6 or 7 in the morning. And I remember I would, turn on the TV and have it on when I was having breakfast and getting ready for school. So I don't think I've watched every episode, just whatever I watched when I was a kid. So, I might go back and watch some of these episodes. And I know they have like a live action one now. I don't know. So yeah, there's like a whole collection you can get, which is pretty crazy. But I don't want the other ones. I think I'm just good with Sailor Moon. So yeah, and then on Monday I came home and I was having a pretty crappy day, and I saw, my boyfriend Ryan had like a Midtown Comics bag. So I said, what did you buy? And he's like, oh, nothing. You'll see it soon. And I was just like, what does that mean? So I walked into the living room, and yeah, I saw it like right away. And so he got me the Daenerys and Drogon pop ride, which I was like, I couldn't believe that, because she's a big pop, and I haven't seen her in the stores. She came out this year, but every store I went to, I haven't seen her. And she's like super cool. I haven't taken her out of the box, so I feel, I don't know. There's like a huge sticker here, and I don't want to like damage anything, so I've just been staring at her in the box. So I love Daenerys and Game of Thrones and all that stuff. So her with Drogon, this is a scene in the last season that she's writing him. So it's really, really cool pop. So I just have it up on the top shelf and I just like stare at it. So yeah, I forgot to talk about Civil War. I saw it like the week it came out. But I really enjoyed it. I want to go see it again. Yeah, I'm definitely Team Cap. If you have any idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm gonna go see it again at some point before it comes out in theaters. And I also recently picked up Deadpool that came out on Blu-ray, and this past weekend Ryan and I watched it again, and it was still funny. So I'm looking forward to any future movies that come out. And so the next comic book movie that's coming out is X-Men Apocalypse. And from what I've seen, like they've released it, like they let critics see it and release the reviews early, and for some reason it like backfired on them, because a lot of the reviews said they're bad, and then some of the people that I follow, like I follow some reviewers on YouTube, most of them said they don't understand why they have bad reviews, because the movie's actually pretty good. So now I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, is this movie gonna be good or not? But I'm like a big X-Men fan. Like I watched like the cartoons in the 90s, and that pretty much started this whole comic book thing for me. So I'm gonna go see it either way. So then I'll make up my mind when I see it. So yeah, I think that's it. So I have, a forum. If you guys haven't checked out, that's where I keep all my show notes, and follow me on Instagram. I tend to be on Instagram more than Ravelry. Um, just because like I started following a bunch of like knitters on there, and they follow me back. So, and I feel like that's like the place to go to keep up with everything. And then sometimes I feel like people use Ravelry secondary. Like not everybody updates their projects right away. So just to see what's going on, I tend to check Instagram first. So yeah, so I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna stop. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye.